Welcome back to the Ron and Fez Show. Ron Bennington, Fez Whatley with you on 106.7 WJFK. Ronnie, checking out some of the war things that it's going on. I love this. Geraldo finally had to leave the 101st Airborne, this past week.
Yeah.
And I like this. Another reporter that was there from a TV station from Minneapolis was watching Geraldo say goodbye to the troops. So as some of them are saying goodbye, some of them wanted pictures taken with him because he was there with the 101st Airborne. Some wanted autographs. Others wanted to shake his hand. And according to this, others were so disgusted with him that they shook his hand only after putting those hands in unmentionable places before.
They were getting him stink hands?
He's getting the stink shake.
That doesn't make our military look all that good.
So Geraldo leaves. He leaves the 101st Airborne with the stink hand after drawing the map in the sand and every other rule he broke.
Here's why I don't agree with the whole stink hand, and it doesn't work out for you. Your hand stinks too.
That's your own stank.
Still, it's disgusting. I don't want to be in my stank before I give it to you.
Up in there. What I love about this is now, and just days away, David Bloom, I feel bad for. The guy died,
What?
40, yes, David Bloom is dead.
The mayor of New York?
No, that's Michael Bloomberg.
Whatever. He's gone, huh?
Not him.
Whatever.
No, we're not saying the mayor is gone. Whatsoever.
No. I brought down a show. The mayor lives, ladies and gentlemen. Move on.
And he's in fine health. David Bloom, about 48 hours before we go into Baghdad, he doesn't live to see it. Geraldo says he's going to be riding right there with the 101st as they take Baghdad. He doesn't get to see it. I love it, because I'll tell you what, that Geraldo, for so many years, has been so overrated in the news business.
Yeah. Has he ever done a really good story?
I can't think of any.
And yet, the guy will always work.
Yeah.
He will constantly work, and Fez, not only will he work after this, he will have a better life than you, and he will outlive you.
Because he's a name in the business.
He's a name in the business.
And now he thinks that his name is bigger than the news. Because when he went over there, he didn't even go with the embedded program.
No.
He went over there on his own. And thought, you know what, I can be bigger than the story.
And he was. He's bigger than the war. He's Geraldo. He's gotten as much ink as any battle, any single battle, probably has gotten about as much as in.
He may be my favorite movement from the war, if there can be one from a war.
That was the eclipse for me when that guy pulled up his burqa and started skull humping Saddam Hussein's picture.
That lovely framed picture was getting humped today. But Geraldo doesn't get to see any of that. I heard that Fox News wasn't even allowed in Baghdad yesterday. I don't know where that comes from.
Are they still mad at Fox News? I mean, I would think that they were the Army's biggest supporters. They don't ask any questions.
They certainly toe the line, the corporate line.
But Geraldo definitely overrated.
Yeah, he is overrated.
We ought to have some kind of an overrated Hall of Fame that we keep on the show, just so that we know from time to time, Fezzy, who is just so overrated it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right now I'll go with Vin Diesel. He's so overrated as the next action star.
I don't even know why he's rated. He's so overrated.
He's rated PG-13.
He is
overrated.
He is no more interesting than any bouncer that you'll meet at any club in America. Any bald-headed bouncer is as interesting and good an actor as Vin Diesel.
And yet it's always a big deal when he has a new movie coming out. Right. And this last one just tubed.
866-277-4969, 866-277-4969. I got something overrated for you. And see if you back me up on this. It's J-Lo's ass. It is no different than any ghetto booty that you happen to run. Yes. Is it a big ass? Yes. Do you like a big ass? Yes. Is it different than any other big ass? No, this is not a well-shaped ass. It's not, oh my God, look at the pavement. It's just a big ass.
And it's there for everybody. If you don't see J-Lo's big ass, it's not like another one's not coming by on the sidewalk in another 2 minutes.
Exactly, if you're in the right neighborhood. You don't want to be in too lowly of a white neighborhood. You ain't going to see another ass like that for a while.
But they do. You're absolutely right, because they do make it sound like J-Lo is the only girl who has an ass.
Yeah. And
that other girls are asslesses. What?
You see that big ass around from time to time. It's nice, but somehow this got to be a famous ass. I don't know how.
866-277-4969. I'll tell you what, this coming football season, this guy is overrated. It's not going to happen. They're making a big deal about it. I mean, there was some things there, but not anymore. Bill Parcells coming back to the NFL, that's overrated. The comeback is overrated.
That one, it's,
I know it's yet to be seen, and you can't do any worse than they already are, but it's going to be Mike Ditka. Talk about overrated.
Oh, Mike Ditka, I'm going to agree with. Mike Ditka is overrated. Parcells actually did take teams from that worst to first. Mike Ditka was with a team that won 1 Super Bowl. That's great. But if you look at that team in history, they probably should have won 3 Super Bowls.
Should have been a dynasty.
Yeah.
A big deal when Ditka went to New Orleans. Totally overrated. Nothing happened there. Left in disgrace.
What is it, Harry?
For me, the person who's like the most overrated has to be Jay Leno. I don't understand why he gets those, why people think he's funny. He's never made me laugh. And even that monologue that's like people talk about. If you watch David Letterman, his monologue is even 10 times better, and that's not even his like best thing.
Let me tell you, here's the difference between me and you, and I am not a Tonight Show fan. As a matter of fact, I can't even watch it. But in the 80s, Jay Leno was the hottest club comic, and I'll even go back further to the 70s. And he literally was the hot guy. And when Letterman used to have a show on NBC, and I know you're young for that, that was the number one guest. That was what everybody would go, hey, don't miss it. Leno's on. What has happened to him over the years? I can't back up, because I don't know how to explain it. I mean, he's terrible now, and he reminds you of like if your grandfather was speaking out at an insurance conference.
Someone got in his head that he had to appeal to middle America and be as white bread as possible, and there's no edge there whatsoever. It's Dixie Riddle Cup jokes now.
Unfortunately, he never used to tape any of his stuff, so he wouldn't do TV specials. So I can't even point out what was so funny about him in the 80s. But I worked with him one time at a club, and I mean, this guy was white heat. But now, I don't know what the hell goes on with him.
Now it's just going through the motions. And he's not going to get any better is his problem. His interviewing skills, it's not going to happen. It's not going to show up. So that's why the monologue gets stretched to 30, 45, 50 minutes of the show.
What does that even mean? Why is he doing such a long effing monologue?
The thing I can't stand is the high-fiving on the way out. I find that so unhip.
The Tonight Show is awful. And you know what? I'll tell you something else. Now, you brought up the word hip. I'll tell you something completely overrated. The hipness of Los Angeles. Because any show that comes out of Los Angeles instead of the East Coast has an unhip audience that is hooping and hollering and jacking and jiving and never getting the comedy for what it is. If you look at that Mad TV, that audience is as square as could be. Craig Kilborn's show, they're standing up if he would get soupy sales. They're going crazy.
I don't know if Craig Kilborn is rated, but the fact that he's on TV is overrated.
But I will say this about the hipness of people in L.A. I don't get it at all. It's not happening. They are almost Southerners. I'll go that far. It's almost like you're in Alabama.
Well, they've taken the tour bus in, right off the street, the nursing home tour bus, and they're putting people in the seats.
But I mean, even the people in the street there, I don't care who they are. It is not a hip crowd. It's not a hip crowd when you're on Melrose. It's not a hip crowd when you're on Sunset. Those people are weird. All right, what's overrated? 866-277-4969. 866-277-4969. Here's Mikey D.
What do you got, Mikey D? What's overrated?
I think Justin Timberlake is overrated.
Man, that's a damn good one. I don't get it. I don't get it. And he is not just loved by the white community. The black community loves this guy. He's ripping off Michael Jackson now. He is talking like He's acting like he's street when we know he came from Mickey Mouse Club.
Right. He's from Orlando, Florida. You couldn't get more.
Not even originally. He had to move to Orlando to be part of that.
To do the show.
Yeah. He had to, like, his parents moved him there to be a Mickey Mouse Club member, and then he kind of spent time there. But somehow, along the way, he acts like he's from Compton.
Yeah, you couldn't get a more sanitized upbringing.
And he doesn't write his songs, and he has a choreographer. So, I mean, everything is handed to him to do.
But he'll get rave reviews. If it was little girls, if it was Lene going,
Right.
I love Justin Timberlake and I want a Justin Timberlake backpack, you could understand it.
Right.
But it's the cover of Rolling Stone every other week. It's insanity.
Oh, right. Overrated. Rolling Stone magazine. At one time, I kid you not, and all you got to do is watch Almost Famous to understand that was the coolest magazine in the world. Now, I don't know whether it's some kind of Maxim magazine wannabe. I do not get what happened to Rolling Stone. Also overrated. Maxim magazine. I don't get this thing at all. It's People. It's People magazine for guys. They have, you know what? You want to read an article, get something that has an article in it. You want to see pictures of chicks? Why not go to and pick up a Playboy where there's naked chicks?
Where they actually have the clothes off. But you will always hear people say that. You see the latest issue of Maxim?
Why should I? It's a girl in a bikini.
It's overrated.
It's completely overrated. 866-277-4969. What is it?
I'm going to have to say that Billy Crystal is extremely overrated. Especially, like, in the past, 10, 15 years. I mean, he's had a lot of movies out, but they've been horrible. And I just don't see his humor whatsoever. I wouldn't even call it humor.
Billy Crystal's problem is, for some reason, when he was young, he always wanted to play old. And now that he's older, he's playing ancient. I don't understand that. He was on Letterman's first show back and talked about all these ailments and everything else that a 90-year-old would have. It makes no sense.
I hate to do this because I remember Billy Crystal from years ago, and he was great. He was hysterical. I don't know what happened to him as the years went by. I can't back him up right now. But
he became everything he used to make fun of.
But he has at least had a long career. I give him credit for that, unlike Mr. Timberlake. 866-277-4969. Here's Greg. Greg, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Greg, what you got, buddy?
I think Eminem is overrated.
What don't you like about Eminem?
I don't know, he's just kind of like, everybody says he's all big and bad and stuff, when he's really just like how do you call it, a nerd?
Yeah, all right, thanks. Mikey D, you're the musical guy. Why Eminem? Why is he the best?
He really is.
Yeah.
From, a rough town, he really grew up.
But why does his raps get people more than, say, any other white rapper ever?
Why is he taken seriously and Vanilla Ice isn't?
I got news for you. I enjoy Eminem. I would not go out and buy all the albums, but when I hear his songs, I actually like them.
He's writing about, himself. He writes the songs. He is writing about other people. When he writes about himself, other people can identify with. And, which the biggest thing is, these rappers, and especially the black rappers, they love him. And you don't normally see that.
You know how we talked about the marketing today of what they're kind of doing to us with the war? I kind of get the same exact thing with Eminem. That, he's being sold to us as he's a rebel, and he's from the streets. And then what's he mad about? He's yelling about Christina or Moby. He's not talking about the government. He's not talking about huge corporations. We're not talking about Woody Guthrie here changing things. We're not talking about Bob Dylan. He's talking about his latest purchases, just like anybody else. And I kind of feel like we're being played by the big corporations with him. And I kind of feel like he's being sold back to us. I don't know. I don't know what has happened to me. I've turned into a conspiracy nut.
I can understand that if it's, who's he work with? Snoop?
Yeah, Snoop Doggy.
And Dr. Dre?
And Dr. Dre.
All right, now, if this is their way of selling rap records to white kids because it's a white rapper, then yeah, then I see where he's just a setup. He's just a pawn for them.
But he writes his own stuff. You got to give him that.
Right.
Yeah.
But why is he getting played?
That's what I don't understand.
And not other rappers. Here's Gardner. Gardner, you're on Ron and Fez. We're talking about what's overrated.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Hey, Gardner, go ahead, buddy.
I'm pretty stoked to be talking to Ron and Fezzi, but all these reality shows, man, I'm kind of over it. I thought Survivor after the first season started getting pretty lame. Now it's all these pretty people and all this sexual intrigue and all that. And
the weird, yeah. All right, the weird thing about Survivor, it still stays up there pretty high in the ratings. Top 3 show.
I'm watching again.
It's not that good. It's nothing new. They don't even try to think, how can we make this different? They keep selling this the same Survivor show back over and over. I mean, it's literally, you know what week it is. You know when they're going to merge the tribes. You know when it's time to eat something bad. You know when it's time to try to remember what all the people did before. It's just going back to that template from the first Survivor.
Well, with reality shows in general, talk about overrated. Every new one that comes out, you won't believe what you'll see. You won't believe how shocking this is. And then they're now TV shock jocks, these reality shows.
And have you ever saw any of those people interviewed in real life where they go, well, that was really the way it edited. It really didn't happen that way. Joe Millionaire was going, when they acted like we went to bed, we were actually just walking through a hallway door. It was near it. And you're like, why are we watching and getting all excited and calling people
all these
fools?
like, beautiful people, and everyone's like screened out, so you don't get like normal people. And like reality should be a good cross section of the population.
Let me tell you something. We're living in reality, and it's dull. If it was reality, we wouldn't even watch it. Why not call it what it really is? A setup show for people who don't want reality.
866-277-4969, talking about what's overrated.
I swear this is the age of jive. I swear to God, everything that's being fed to us, I'm going to end up like being some kind of nut, like Mel Gibson in that movie. I'm going to end up wearing aluminum foil on my head. I don't want to turn into this guy.
Oh, I thought you meant conspiracy theory.
Anytime at all that you're getting information anymore, I completely become suspect.
And didn't he have tinfoil on his head and signs, too?
Probably in every movie.
Every movie, the guy has tinfoil on his head, now that I think about it.
Here's Tracy. Tracy, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Going again.
Russell Crowe. I don't understand Russell Crowe at all.
You don't think he's a good actor?
He's an okay actor. But there are a lot of okay actors.
Yeah, so why him? Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, you look at some of his movies, some of the ones that weren't even that big, like L.A. Confidential. I thought was a great movie. But I don't know why they pick out one guy and act like he's the movie star, or he's really good looking. Because Russell Crowe is probably a good looking guy, but he's not like phenomenal, is he?
No, he's not phenomenally good looking. He's no Brad Pitt.
But he's treated like wherever he goes and whatever he does is a big deal, whoever he's dating or marrying.
And it's not even the gossip people. I mean, 2 years in a row, the guy got nominated for Best Actor and had a really good chance of walking away with 2 statues.
Well, he got one of them, right?
He got the one for Gladiator, and then the John Nash Beautiful Mind thing the very next year.
And the year before that, he was nominated. He was nominated for that... it was like the 60 Minutes movie where it was about tobacco.
Oh, The Insider, that's right.
Yeah, and that's the one that people said, oh, we should have won for that, so we gave it to him for Gladiator.
Just give it to people for what they're supposed to get it for.
Here is Josh. Josh, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, what's up?
Speak up, big man.
Hey, what's up?
Go ahead,
buddy.
Hey, I think President Bush is overrated.
President Bush. I'll tell you, the jury's still out on President Bush. But here's what gets to me. The Bush family? Suddenly this is Camelot? This is our royalty? It's Jeb, George Sr. Why that family? What the hell am I missing here?
Where did they come from? George Sr., he did the oil thing. That failed. He got in the CIA. He ran for Congress. Got the vice presidency thing. Out of nowhere.
They've excelled unbelievably as a family. And could you ever say that one of them is charismatic?
No, that's where the weird thing is. They're not the Kennedys.
Right.
And yet they've got 2 presidencies under their belt. 2 governorships, a vice presidency. I mean, they've got a nice long resume.
They've got a huge one. And
another generation coming up.
And I don't even think they like people. I wouldn't even say that those people like people. I don't know why they're interested in it.
But, I mean, if you look back at President Kennedy and you see how he captured a nation's imagination, you could see where the mystique is there and it runs through the family. Look at President George Sr. Where was the charisma that has spawned this lineage that we're going to elect every Bush? It's very weird. 866-277-4969.
All right, somebody just sent this in on electronic mail to me, Fez. It says, Ron, you're wrong about Eminem. He does rap about the government. Listen to White America. Please listen to lyrics when you're not high. I'll have to check that out for me, okay, Mikey? It's called White America.
So we'll check that out when we can.
Yeah, we'll find out those lyrics. Maybe I'm completely wrong about Eminem. I got to tell you the truth. The only thing I know about him are the hits.
Yeah, Stan. Yeah. That's about all I know.
Yeah, whatever it gets into. That's all. I don't really go through the albums one at a time. But
the thing you did with Elton.
This, who was the person's name? Lowlife. Thank you very much for sending that, Lowlife. If you ever do want to send us an email, it's ronandfez@AOL.com. Let's take a break. We'll come back and keep this going. It's the new Ron and Fez Overrated Hall of Fame with the Ron and Fez Show.
And we're back with the Ron and Fez Show on 106.7 WJFK. Tonight, taking inductions into the Ron and Fez Overrated Hall of Fame.
All right, I went and Billy actually looked it up for me, that White America song. No, it's not an attack on it. He's talking about being on TRL and everything else. Believe me, if he scared the government, the guy would not be on the radio.
Talking about M&M. So basically, it's just a day in his life.
It's always the same stuff, but, I mean, it might be called this thing, I'm attacking White America. White America doesn't fear him. They're not afraid of Eminem. He's playing into it. He's the American dream. When radio doesn't like you, look at the Dixie Chicks, look at O&A. F with the money a little bit, and they will get rid of you immediately. That's who scared them for a second, so they stopped it. They're not afraid of Eminem. He's buying into it. Here is Bill. Bill, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Bill, go ahead, buddy.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's overrated?
Celine Dion.
Celine Dion. I agree. I don't understand why she's considered the diva. I don't understand why she's considered so good. She sits there and pounds on her chest.
But it's a really big voice. I'll give her that. That woman may be the loudest singer that we have in the world today.
She uses no microphones.
She doesn't need one. She's just a huge voice. But have I ever thought I like the Celine Dion song? I can't even say I could. I don't hear any soul there whatsoever, but it's a huge voice. But I kind of blame her on that whole Christina thing and even the other one that tries to run the scales on us. Here's Mike. Mike, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello, Mike. Fez, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, I'm a latchkey kid of the 80s. Whatever happened to MTV?
Oh, God, does it stink. It stinks on ice.
Well, there's no music on it.
TRL Top 10, it's the same as it was yesterday. Why are you watching it today?
And I don't even know who the little kids are they're running anymore. It's not even Carson on there anymore.
I swear to God, every time I see Carson's face, I want to throw a brick through my TV.
Thank you very much. No, I don't know what happened to MTV. There's surely, used to be videos on there at one time. The whole thing's over.
And
Rock is dead.
And even more specifically, Carson Daly, overrated.
Carson Daly, I don't know what it is about him. I guess that he makes America feel safe about themselves.
I don't see the personality there. To me, he mumbles. He's monotone.
Did you ever watch his real late night show?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
Very easy to fall asleep to. Just like, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, it's white noise. It's just a hum.
Yeah, man.
Next thing you know, you're nodding out.
Here's Deke. Deke, you're on Ron and Fez.
Deke, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, man, I think Britney Spears is overrated, man. I just don't get that, man. I really don't. And I like everybody.
Thank you very much.
See, he gets along.
Britney Spears, I never did get the voice even for a second. I mean, she's as cute as can be. She's as cute as a button. I like to bang the hell out of ways, but as far as being a singing star, I don't know.
The voice is so processed that it's the same dance moves every damn time, where she's waving that fist around, that forearm.
A lot of times it looks like the same dancers that they have in Disney World when you go to one of the exhibits. It's the same moves, everything else.
The Up With People had kids.
Alan, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
I think, and I hate to insult one of your station mates, but I think Bill O'Reilly's way overrated.
Bill O'Reilly, I haven't heard his radio show, the TV show, high ratings. I don't know what makes him stand out at Fox. Why is he the guy, Fez?
I'm not sure why all of a sudden. Now, Bill O'Reilly, I remember him when he used to do regular just news and reporting.
Current affair is what he used to do. So I would fight with you over saying news and reporting. But he was on one of those wacky, kind of shock jock shows.
And then when all of a sudden he was the curmudgeon, I just wondered where that came from.
I don't know. And out of all the Fox shows, why him? Why is he the guy that America's latched onto?
All those TV people at Fox are so bad.
And did we actually need, an answer to Rush Limbaugh by somebody on the very same side? I would have thought, hey, we've got to come up with something against Rush Limbaugh. I would have thought it would have been the exact opposite opinion. And him and Rush, I guess they don't like each other?
I don't think they like each other.
Yet they say the same exact things.
They share all the same opinions.
Yet why?
We're all leaning to the right. Careful, the boat's going to tip.
Yeah, we're going.
The boat's going to tip.
Well, right now we've got two Republican parties, so to have two guys on the right I don't think is a bad idea.
866-277-4969 is the toll-free phone number.
Wonderboy's come in. He wants to chip in, Fezzy, for the Ron and Fez Overrated Hall of Fame we're doing tonight. What do you got, Wonderboy?
I gotta say college sports are overrated. I don't see why people get so excited about a lower grade product when, there's professional sports offering a better version of the same thing.
You are out of your frickin' mind.
I think, like a lot of times, like college football, maybe it's good, but the game isn't necessarily as fast. I don't think it's as physical as professional football. And a lot of times, too, one of the things people like is they see, players looking their way up.
Do you watch it?
Occasionally. And I think, like a lot of times guys that were big in college, they don't really pan out well in the pros and stuff. I think they can't hack it at that higher level. I mean, I think it's the same thing with college basketball. Not as exciting. I mean, college baseball has nothing on the World Series. I just think that college sports...
Should it?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why it is that people really tune in for that when it's practically like watching Little League.
I would love to see
I don't
you...
even know what you're talking about. College football's like watching Little League?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're watching players that aren't the best in the world. You know what I mean? You're watching players that are good.
You're watching players that are the best in the country.
But not, I mean, maybe at that lower level, but it's a slower
at that younger age.
Right, I mean, they can't necessarily compete with the hardened veterans of the professional ranks.
They don't. They have their own league.
Now,
you dick.
They don't have to. Now, this is someone who gets upset when one of his no-name bands that he loves, one of his favorites, all of a sudden gets a record deal and gets a video and sells out and goes professional.
No, but
it's pure sport, for the love of the sport.
I just don't think that, if you're going to sit down and watch a game, I don't think that sitting down watching a college game is necessarily as exciting as watching
If I was going to sit down and listen to a CD, I don't see why I should listen to some punk band that has no label and are working out of their garage.
All right, Fez, to be fair to him, just work on him for what he said. Let's not take it into his professional life and his beliefs. Tell him what's good about college football. He doesn't get it.
There is nothing better than college football. It's kids that are out there. They are the best athletes that colleges have, university system has across the country. They are the elite. You're talking about how it's a lower level? Try to play a sport in high school and then go into college. It's nearly impossible. These kids are so gifted, and they're playing not for the money, not for the endorsements. They're going out there, and they are playing their hearts out for, like Ronnie said, the love of the game. And you are seeing the people that are going to be the superstars tomorrow.
But isn't it a thing where a lot of times a guy will get to the pros and not pan out? Like guys that are big fish in college don't necessarily do well, once they get to the higher level. So, yeah, it's good.
That happens in every field.
But I don't think that there's necessarily like a direct correlation, right? Like just because a guy is talented at the college level, when you shrink down the number of teams that are available and you raise the talent level, it's no guarantee that he's going to be able to perform up there, though.
Exactly. That's part of why you watch it, because you get to see that cream rise to the top. Or else they wouldn't have a national championship if they didn't want to see who was the best of the best. You dink.
I didn't understand that one.
866-277-4969.
Here is Jeff. Jeff, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, buddy. I gotta believe that girls with pierced tongues are overrated. But if there's one out there that wants to prove me wrong, I'm ready.
Thank you very much. I never understood the piercing tongue. Take line 1 down, because that's not true, Billy. Thank you very much. Here's Warren. Warren, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, Warren, what you got?
Anna Nicole Smith.
Thank you very much. That's a good one.
She's overweighted, not overrated.
All right, you're saying that Brad that we couldn't get is on line 1 now, Billy? And I should go to that?
Billy, what are you saying?
Brad?
Ron Fez, what's your name?
It's Ron. How are you?
What a dink. You can't tell me he's not drinking again.
I know he's drinking.
He is drinking again.
I know he's drinking.
Talking about the Ron and Fez Overrated Hall of Fame. I'm going to throw one out here right now. Any cell phone technology is overrated. You see these commercials where it's a crystal clear connection. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I'm going to say this is overrated, Fuzzy. AA. Now looking at Billy, AA is overrated.
Because some people, it's just not helping, no matter how much they preach it back to others.
What, are you still laughing over college sports, Wonder Boy?
No, I'm not laughing.
You thought you put Fez in his place by saying they're not as good as pros?
No, I forgot that Fez liked college sports so much. I was just saying that I personally didn't
What
see.
about the track and field?
I don't think there even is a professional track and field.
Yes, there is. What about gymnastics? What's that come out of?
I think the Olympic
College.
gymnastics.
You said, yes, where do they come out of? That's college.
Right.
What about wrestling? College is where you peak. You said college sports. You didn't even say college football, which is Fez's favorite.
Right. Well, football wasn't necessarily the most.
Billy, there's no way in the world I'm taking line 2. All right? You left me over for the last time. I'm not going to believe you.
I was just saying, like, particularly like college basketball. I mean, I don't think that even the Final Four is necessarily as exciting as the championship. You know what I mean? Like,
you didn't find the college basketball Final Four very exciting?
No, I mean, it was good, but, you know, I think that by and large you see, people watching that don't watch it all year round. You know what I mean?
No, it's not true. Derek, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, Derek.
Hey, I just want to tell you all, sometimes the best sports are best when they're not played at the highest level. It's like why women's tennis are better than men's tennis. You know what I'm saying?
There's actually a lot of people who like college basketball in particular because it's not played at the same fast-paced level as professional basketball, where you're just looking at gigantic guys, and some people believe that it's lost the structure and beauty of the actual sport. And what Bill Fez has already talked about that with college football, where it's not all about money, and it's not all about getting endorsement deals, but it's about the real love of the sport.
If I had to choose watching college football or professional football, I'll take college football any weekend. Because if you get to the pro level, Wonder Boy, I know there's parity in the league and any given Sunday and all that, but you're going to see a team like Cincinnati Bengals get destroyed every Sunday. You watch college football, you can be shocked. Anything really could happen on any Saturday in college football. You can see the number 1 ranked team in the nation, if it's Oklahoma, get almost knocked off by Baylor.
I got to tell you this, though, about college football. I do think those guys deserve to get paid. I think if you're drawing 80 to 100,000 people a week to come see you, and all you're getting is free books and a bed, come on. That isn't effing fair.
I know, you're putting the asses in the seats, and those college stadiums are huge. Some of them well over 100,000 people.
And I don't think that you have to pay them the same thing as the pros, but you got to give them some money.
Or at least not hassle them about every little thing. A coach can't take the team to the movies.
Right.
I mean, you can't buy a kid dinner if he's on a college football team.
Now, that high school kid, I can't think of his name right now, he got suspended for 2 days for picking up free shirts. Somebody sent him free shirts, They had his stuff on TV, his high school games, and they were touring with it,
right?
And then put it on a pay-per-view. They wanted to do a pay-per-view. And this kid that can't even get a free shirt, what is it?
LeBron James.
Thank you very much. See, you know what you just did? Unlike everybody here, you just produced. Tonight you produced for 1 second.
Doing my best.
Don't ruin it.
Yeah, because if that's the best you can do, is walk in and say LeBron James, then I don't want you. I need you to do more than that. You know what's overrated for me? Armenia. That's what's overrated.
It's so overrated.
And the Turkish national newspaper.
The bath?
Get in here. How's your dad feel about what happened today? Is he excited? Was he jumping up and down with an American flag?
How many statues has your dad knocked over, Harry Elvis?
He hasn't knocked any over. He's looking at it. I mean, he's not angry about it. He's happy that they sort of liberated them. But
who's they? You got to explain.
He's saying that the images they're showing on TV, like that's
I
great.
I got to stop you for a second and set him up. Your dad's a Turk, right? Or he only reads the Turkish papers?
Yeah, he's an Armenian from Turkey.
Okay. He's an Armenian from Turkey.
How did that happen?
And he feels it's like African American. He's Armenian Turkish. But you're saying, and why aren't they called turkeys if you're from Turkey? Why have to go with ish?
Well, they're Turks, actually.
Whatever.
But he feels that...
Do they make Turkish candy?
I think they've
done a great job. Turkish taffy.
They make Turkish delight.
You know, people are starving over there, and yet they make candy. How about something nutritious?
I'll tell you, I could have Turkish taffy 3 meals a day. I think it's that good. I don't know if it's good for you. What's your dad saying right now about Armenia and Turkey and everything that's happening?
No, the images of the people knocking
What's he saying about USA?
He's saying
he thought it was Uday Hussein.
The images of those people knocking over statues and feeling like happy that the U.S. has come to liberate them, that he feels that's great, but that's not why the U.S. went in there. They're just using that, as further like propaganda.
God, does he hate this country?
No, he loves this country.
He despises this country.
He just feels that they didn't go into, war for that reason. It's not that he hates his country at all. He loves his country.
Now, you're sitting there next to Wonder Boy, whose brother is a lieutenant fighting over there to liberate that country, and you just called it all propaganda. Wonder Boy, do you know how I feel about when you just take out college sports?
Yeah, I think now I can see why you would be upset about that.
Gabrielle, you're on Ron and Fez.
I think American Idol is overrated.
I'll say this. I don't understand why anybody thinks these singers are any good. Talking about looking like you're trying to get into a Broadway show or a Disney production. This is not great singing.
I watched the finals of the last one, the first one they did, where they brought all 10 finalists back. It was going down to those 2. And they let them all do these group numbers, and they were all hideous.
Up with people.
Yeah, they weren't good enough for high school talent shows.
And you know what? None of them are going to go on to be an American Idol. Why doesn't somebody say, you know what? You guys went and picked out people that aren't good. You judges should be fired.
Where's Kelly Clarkson, who is going to be the next superstar? Where's she been since she won?
They claim she's making a movie about winning American Idol.
I swear I see the Muppet that came in second more than her, Justin Guarini.
If I was, I think they're dating, and they're going to be in the same movie together. If I was running her career, Kelly Clarkson, I would get her to make Last Train to Clarksville. What is it, Bill? You got something for us?
Yeah.
What's in your overrated?
Why didn't you just phone in?
Yeah. What's in your overrated Hall of Fame?
Toasters. They are...
You don't like toast?
There's no use for toast. You don't need a toaster anymore. All it does is it takes a valuable space in your kitchen, and it does one thing. It toasts bread. You can do that with a toaster oven. You can do many things with a toaster oven. You can do one thing with a toaster. They're ridiculous. They just sit there.
What do you do with a toaster oven?
You can heat up little pizzas. You can make little hamburgers. You can toast bread.
I make real food. I'm not going to sit there and heat up little pizzas. But you know what?
Why's all your food so little?
It's a small toaster oven.
I think a toaster oven stinks. I throw out a toaster oven. You don't like toast?
It's not a question of not liking toast. Toast is overrated. I mean, you can make toast in a toaster oven.
Toast overrated.
It's burnt bread.
All right, so when you sit down for breakfast, you have just regular bread?
No, I make it in a toaster oven.
My dad would try to do that sometimes.
Just bread?
And I would go, I'm not eating bread and eggs. I have to have toast.
Then give me an egg sandwich, but toasted.
No, what I'm saying is you can do the same thing in a toaster oven, which has many other purposes. Meanwhile, I mean, you don't even need to put a Pop-Tart in a toaster oven.
Is a toaster oven as fast as a toaster? Because it looks like it's more work.
No, I don't know. Then
I'm running around. What? I pop 2 things of toast in. I push it down. Seconds later, it pops out, and I have delicious toast.
Well,
I'm not going to sit there and try to figure out...
Still hot enough to melt the butter.
Well, toast will toast at the same temperature no matter what device it is.
Yeah, but I don't know how quick you get it up to that temperature.
No, it has the right thing on it. It says toast or cook. And
how does it toast on the same side? The toaster oven.
It has elements on the bottom and the top.
Okay.
And it's like Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts are better cold anyway than they are hot. I mean, who wants to heat them up in the first place?
People who eat Pop-Tarts. That's who wants to heat them. So you honestly think a toaster's overrated?
It's a one-purpose kitchen utensil.
Give us more overrated things in your world.
In my world, I'd say,
sobriety?
Oh, definitely. I would have to say I think cell phones are overrated.
Yeah, you know who you got that from?
No.
Fez, from 10 minutes ago.
No, I was busy on the phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard you.
No, there's a few things. I think that pot's overrated. I mean, pot as a drug. I mean, if you're going to do a drug, do a drug. Pot does nothing for you. It gets you paranoid, you giggle a lot, and then you get it's like pot is...
Not everybody gets paranoid on pot. Some people do, some people don't.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's really not that of an effective
I never was a big pot fan myself.
No, and it's like everyone's, you got to smoke a doobie, you got to get high. No, drink, have a beer, do a couple lines or something.
Where are these people at that are telling you got to smoke a doobie?
What else is overrated for you?
Diplomacy. I mean...
Diplomacy?
Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's get all the countries together in one place and discuss what we're going to do for 6 months or 8 months. You know what? No. You make a decision. This is what we're going to do. You do it. You don't need everybody to get together and, decide.
All right, what about things like, pollution, where you need the whole world together in it? You don't want just to let other people just put their raw sewage into the water, then we all share it, right?
That's not something that needs to be discussed. That's a given.
It's not a given. You have to sit down and discuss that through diplomacy.
No, we should go to war over that.
No, let's say if you have let's say you have in Ron's country, you have your own country, and there's a company polluting the water. And if I have my country over here, you're not going to discuss with me how to handle that company. Just do it.
No, some countries, they're fine with it.
Yeah.
But the diplomacy comes from you explaining to that country how it works.
Yeah, too much emphasis is put on just a bunch of guys sitting around a table BSing who are no smarter than me or you.
I didn't say they have to be even smarter than us, but what I'm saying is some of these smaller countries would think, hey, what difference does it make? Somebody's going to pay me to drop nuclear waste into the ocean. So we contact them through our diplomats and we sit down and discuss it. It's not such a crazy thing, Bill.
But it's not the end all. It's like, we have to...
Who said it was the end all?
No,
I said it's a way to communicate between countries.
But I think too much emphasis is put on it. We haven't resolved all diplomatic means yet. You know what? You're going to talk to you blue in the face, and some people are just not going to listen to you.
Just from the last war, that's all?
No!
That's what you're getting
That's the only thing you have.
The debacle at the UN.
No, come on. The League of Nations didn't work. That was diplomacy.
We got to take a break. You're not even making sense.
It's perfectly
You're
clear
drinking again. I know you're drinking again. I can tell by your answers. No one would be against diplomacy. The Russians weren't against diplomacy. The Red Chinese aren't. You got to have KKK. We'll sit down and talk to you. Everybody negotiates.
North Korea is begging to talk.
Yes, but that's not the answer. After diplomacy, there has to be action. All diplomacy does not work.
So
it's overrated.
If someone's polluting the air, we should drop bombs?
No, but talk about it until the air is so polluted. It's ridiculous. You talk about it. If you don't fix it, we do something.
All right, there's a lot of things that need to be talked out that you would never bomb for.
You don't have to
Economic
bomb.
things. There's not always do you shoot missiles.
In order to feed hungry children.
Make me a promise that you won't vote. Just make me that promise.
Oh, no, that's my...
Promise me.
No, I did not lose my right to vote.
I'll get you a bottle of gin.
I may be a convicted felon, but I didn't lose my right to vote. And that's one of my God-given rights in this country.
It's not from God, it's from the Constitution.
Well, the Constitution says God in it, so.
But God doesn't give us the right to vote.
Okay, it's my constitutionally given right to vote, as agreed to by God. In God we trust.
Shut up. Mike, you're on Run of Fez. Pain in the ass.
On, guys? Hey, I think the staples in Billy's stomach is overrated.
If there's any even left. How's your staples doing, Billy?
Not good.
What? Did you go to your staple doctor this week?
Yes, I did.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. It's bad or good? Just tell us that. It's bad?
It's bad.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Or is this another one of your drunk lies?
Oh, I'm not drunk, and it's not a lie. This is bad.
All right, we'll be right back. You hear the latest on Billy dominating the show tonight, Fezzi.
Sure, a medical update coming up next.
It's a Ron and Fez show.